All right, let's go across to Colombo now, where Indian captain Virat Kohli is speaking.
Make an all-rounder, and also Rohit, how you believe that he has match-winning capabilities, that's why you want to play him ahead of Pujara, and many others in the team like that, Stuart for example. How has it been for you as a captain to believe in them till the right to the end? You talk to us about that, because you really did back them.
It's very important to back individuals and really get the best out of them, because you will never know until you give them the chance, to express themselves, how good they are, or if how good they are in pressure situations, or if they can win a game for you in a particular situation, from a particular situation. And guys like Stuart, you mentioned Rohit, it's very important to back guys like that, because with the bat, or Stuart with the ball as well, they can be very beneficial for the team, and they can actually turn the game around for you. If you see the second innings for us, those are the two guys that changed the whole momentum of the game. We got 112 runs in a session where it was supposed to be helping the bowlers, and those guys just flattened the attack, and then Ashwin went in and scored 60 odd in the end, Mishra contributing. So it's amazing. Cricket is a game where mindset matters a lot, and if a player is feeling confident, you give him confidence, you back him throughout. His mindset and his execution of skills will be very different to when he's under pressure. So then Ashwin went in and scored 60 odd in the end, Mishra contributing. So it's amazing. Cricket is a game where mindset matters a lot, and if a player is feeling confident, you give him confidence, you back him throughout. His mindset and his execution of skills will be very different to when he's under pressure. So from my end, I made all the effort I could to make them feel comfortable, and allowing them to go out there and express themselves in any sort of situation to benefit the team. And I think that's the only way one can learn about themselves and how good their skills are.
Suman, Virat, how important it was for you to control, or rather also channelize Ishant Sharma's aggressiveness. We saw Ishant breathing fire yesterday and today as well. So how important it was for you?
And I was very happy with the incident that happened when he was batting, because it happened at the right time for us. We had to bowl yesterday, and they made him angry, and I think couldn't have been better for us, and the timing was absolutely perfect. So I think everything fell in place for us as far as being aggressive is concerned as well. And the way he bowled in the second innings, he did not concede a boundary for 19 overs. And that's the kind of pressure he created on those batsmen because of one incident that was started from somewhere, and then he decided to take over with the ball and then be even more aggressive than he might be. And knowing that it's the last innings of the series, he's always bowled his heart out. Whenever the Indian team has needed him to defend scores in test matches, and even if you remember in Lords in Australia also, he bowled his heart out every time. And today also was a classic case of him putting in that effort, knowing it's very hot, humid. But it was important to not let things go out of hand. But at the same time, I was very happy that he is an aggressive mindset, and he's actually an angry fast bowler is a captain's delight. They always say that. So I was very happy to see what happened yesterday, and that really switched some things on in the right way. So it had to be controlled, but in the end it benefited us.
Next.
Without your team lost this test and then came back and won the next two, I mean, what was the motivation that you came as a team being the first series as captain? How do you sort of motivate the team in the next series?
Well, I think the one thing that we decided to do was stick together as a unit, not worry too much about. Obviously, you will be criticized when you lose or you have a bad performance, but it's important as cricketers not to focus on that. It's important to focus on what the team has to do in the next game, prepare for the next day. Even if it's a traveling day, you have to look forward to that, rather than thinking about what's gone by and getting disappointed. Obviously, it hurt a lot, but I would like to really praise the guys on one aspect, that they all stuck together and they did not discuss what went wrong too much. We enjoyed each other's company even more. We decided to stick together, do a few team activities, and then even practice sessions we had a lot of fun. decided to keep the mood positive, and we believed that we can turn the series around, because the way we lost in Gaul was because we played bad cricket in 2 sessions and we won 6 sessions there. So there was a lot of positive to take from that game, and we focused on that rather than the bad cricket that we played. So I think it took a lot of effort from all the guys to stay positive and turn things around, which we believe we could do. And I think me and Ashwin are sitting here talking about winning the series because of that belief that we had even after losing the first game, and I think that's very, very important.
Saisa.
Virat, congratulations on winning, of course, and also congratulations for the refreshing way you handled the Shant question asked a little earlier. Some of your predecessors may have dealt with it differently. Have you grown as a captain in the past 3 test matches here, your first full series as captain? Do you like ticking your own boxes? How would you say today at the end of a positive result?
See, I don't want to say that I've grown as a captain, because if I make a mistake again, I'll be made a child again. So let's just let the things be the way they are right now. I think it's time for us to celebrate a series win. Any mistakes that I make in future will be corrected. But it's important to cherish the good moments as well. I would not like to think that I've grown as a captain or I need to behave in a very different way now. As long as my teammates are happy with what we are doing as a team, and the management is happy with the kind of ideas that we come up with, I think these small little things can be managed along the lines. So I don't know. You tell me if I've grown as a captain or not, because I don't sit down and think about these things.
Mistakes won't reduce you to a kid. I mean, it's part of the learning curve, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it is. Unless you make mistakes, you will never learn and improve. So I don't know. It's absolutely total freedom to all of you to judge and write if I've grown up or not. But I feel that I think we've been able to do what we have done because of the kind of mindset all the guys have had. I can, as I said after the first test in Gaul, I can go out and speak about something, but unless people want to improve on it, it will never happen, because I can keep saying something and guys not responding is a very different story. So it's the collective mindset of the whole squad, not just the guys who have played. I think the management, the guys sitting outside and the guys playing have all stayed positive and all been on the same page, and that's why we've been able to do what we've done.
Indian captain Virat Kohli there, of course, elated. India's big win in Sri Lanka in 22 years, and the first overseas win in 4 years. Remember, the last one came in 2011 against West Indies, and importantly, coming from behind to win this series. Saurav Ganguly now joining us live from Kolkata. Saurav, Virat's always been a good talker, isn't it? And as a captain, he's talking extremely well.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you remember, I've kept saying this from the start of the series. I like what I see in Virat Kohli because it's his hunger and passion to win. That what differentiates winning and drawing or losing a series. And it has been remarkable coming from behind and winning this series 2-1. It was tough conditions to play cricket, especially in this test match, and India have stood out victorious. I believe in Virat Kohli and his attitude. His attitude is infectious. He himself is a class act as a batsman, and he brings that passion and fire and that force in that team. So congratulations to Team India for doing so well, for coming back and winning this series.
Do you see a little bit of yourself in Virat Kohli?
Not afraid to express himself.
I hope he does better than what I did, Shivani.
Oh, come on.
But his real test will be when he gets to places like England and Australia and South Africa. But that's later. Let's enjoy the series and give all due credit to him, because when you lose a test like you did in Gaul, when you were destined to win, just chasing 176, and then 1 down in the series, and then come back and win 2 back-to-back test matches, it speaks remarkably of the attitude of the boys. There is a lot of ability in this side. As Virat said, it's a young team. There's been a lot of positives out of the series as well, and hopefully this team can move forward.
Yes, and when we were speaking just right after the match got over, Saurav, you were talking about how Pujara is the man of the match, and he has been adjudged that. Our Ashwin, the man of the series. It's really been India in the driver's seat. We had a setback after losing that test match, and there were questions whether we can win this series. We had obviously high hopes before India went there. But it's great to see how they've come back. And who would you credit this most apart from Virat Kohli? Because India had troubles in the batting department, especially with 3 different opening pairs in the 3 test matches. But here and there, everybody chipped in once in a while.
See, if you remember at the end of the Galle Test, we were doing our show on Headlines Studio and I said, yes, India have lost this test match, but they still have 2 more test matches to go and we'll have a chat after the series. Because when you look at this Sri Lankan team, you always feel that it's a team which is beatable. And whether rightly or wrongly, Sri Lanka played on result pitches which would have helped in getting 20 wickets, and India finished on the winning side. If they would have played on flat pitches, this win could have been difficult because, you know, on flat pitches, if you get in it, it is nothing much for the bowler. So the result pitches helped India win this series. I think a lot of credit should go to the team, to everyone, to the support staff as well, who's been through with this team through thick and thin, and that's what it is. No win is just on the basis of one player, and everyone should take due credit of the performance.
But if I do ask you specifically about the opening position, Saurav, yes, there were forced changes because of injuries, and Pujara didn't get to play, didn't we? Till we had those 2 injuries, and then he came and struck a century, a brilliant one at that. What do you think should be the ideal combination going forward? Let's say if we play in the subcontinent.
See, it'll be horses for courses. See, a lot of these players like Pujara can bat in the middle. I don't see Pujara being a permanent opener in this team. But I think this innings will give Pujara a lot of confidence. As I said, not a permanent opener, but I see him at number 3 in this team. Virat Kohli can bat in 4, and Ajinke Rahane can bat at 5. You've got 3 openers in Lokesh Rahul, Murali Vijay, who I think has done exceptionally well for India. He just played 1 test match in this series, but if you look at the way he batted in Australia, in England, it was remarkable. He was probably the best batsman in both the tours combined. Virat Kohli was outstanding in Australia, but Murali Vijay in England and Australia together was very, very consistent along with Ajinke Rahane. So there is a solution there for India. And as Virat said, as the team management said, that, you know, there's no fixed batting positions in this team. You know, they'll keep picking what's the best and what's ideal for the day. I always believe that if you have a problem of choices, that's a good problem to have, and I'm sure the Indian team will get a lot of confidence from this win, especially the win at SSC, because it was a difficult surface to bat on, and Indian showed exceptional character. Even batters down the lower order, Amit Mishra in the first innings, Ravichandran Ashwin in the second innings. You see, when you see Sri Lanka finish at 260, you realize how important those runs were in the context of this test match. So I think there's a lot of credit should be given to this side because of the way they fought, because of the way they came out of tough situations, because that's what test cricket is all about. You get into holes and you come out and fight it out. So I hope the team enjoys it. They've got a month break now before they take on South Africa, where I still believe that in spite of what you said at the start of the show, India will be hugely favourites because they'll play South Africa on our pitches where the ball will be turning.
Yeah, I know. I remember having a chat with you where you told me that in person as well. But I don't know, somehow I feel it could be very competitive. We'll come to South Africa in just a bit. But Nikhil, it's really the evolution of both R. Ashwin and Ishant Sharma over the last couple of years that has turned it around for India. You know, if you look at the numbers, Ishant has done much better in the last year, since 2014, than he did throughout his career before that. Ashwin is the second best bowler in this period. These two are really the match winners for India.
Phenomenal. You know, somebody who's played more than 60 test matches, you know, becomes the spearhead of Indian bowling attack. And the good thing is the way he's gone out and bowled in that second innings, Shivani. You know, we heard Virat say that for 19 overs that he bowled, he didn't concede a single boundary. You know, stuck to very steady line and lengths, troubling the batsman. And the good thing is at least you see some skill coming through as well. He's been able to obviously, you know, all his life get the ball to jag back to the right-hander, but he's got the one that pitches and leaves or straightens. You know, but that corridor of uncertainty he's been able to hit. No freebies. I think in test match cricket, the mantra has always been, you know, if you're not been able to pick up wickets, you know, you need to choke down on the runs to put some pressure. And I'm glad that, you know, Ishant is coming of age as a bowler, and I hope and wish him all the success in the world, because he's certainly a talent. If he didn't do well, you know, it's probably like we always say, you know, talent going to waste. But Ashwin, on the other hand, that you speak of, has been absolutely fantastic. Steady line and lengths, you know, he's not bowling the variations, like I said, too many of them, sticking to the stock ball, relying on the off spin, time and time again getting the batsman to draw forward, getting them to defence. I think for any spinner to be very successful at test match cricket or any level, important how many balls do you get the batsman to go out there and defend when he's defending or playing forward. I think that's the idea. From wicket to wicket, from using the crease, I think he's been phenomenal this series.
Saurav, your take on Ishant Sharma and how brilliant he's bowled, especially in this test match. But what's he eating these days? Do you think it's Virat Kohli's aggression that's rubbing off Ishant Sharma?
Yeah, it does. It does lead down from the captain. You've got a captain who's aggressive. You've got a coach and a director who obviously is aggressive as well. And it just boils down to the team. And I think it's good to have a fast bowler who enjoys his success. And I thought he was exceptional. He would be wanting to carry that SSC pitch wherever he went, because it's a sort of a pitch which bowlers will really enjoy, because even with the 70th overall ball, once it hits the seam, you see deviation. So you got to give credit to him. He's taken the responsibility. His body looks good. A fast bowler takes a little bit of time to get stronger and fitter, but Ishant Sharma in this series has looked good and strong. So I hope he continues. He'll have a big role to play in this Indian unit for the next 3 or 4 years, where in both forms of the game, Test cricket and one-day cricket, especially when someone like Umesh Yadav or Varun Arun is young and inexperienced. So he will have to shoulder the responsibility, and our good wishes to him, and I hope he stands up and delivers.
Absolutely. There have been a lot of pluses for India. The late order batting, as Saurav and all of us mentioned. Pujara coming and hitting a century. KL Rahul coming and hitting a century. Even Naman Ojha got some runs in the lower middle order. And then the bowling, as we talked about. But Saurav, before we wrap up, I mean, as a captain, you've led a very successful unit in your times. What would your advice be to Virat Kohli as a young captain who's seeing success, pretty early? This was his first full-fledged test series and a win overseas. What would your ideal way forward be for Team India?
I think I've liked what I've seen of Virat Kohli in this series. He wants to win. He takes his risks. He's not scared of losing test matches. And I think that will stand him in good stead when he travels outside India. I have a feeling, or rather I believe, that like all other captains in the past, whether it's me, Rahul, Sachin, or even captains in the past, they won't be tested very much in India. But when they go overseas, like all of us have been tested, he will be tested, and he's got the ability to stand up. By the time they get to England and Australia in the years to come, these boys will have another 2 years of test cricket under their belt, and they'll get a lot more experienced and a lot more confidence. So it's good signs for Indian cricket. But as you said, to sum up, what I like of Virat Kohli and what I want him to do is to play to win. And I think that's very, very important when you travel abroad.
Absolutely. That has been the mantra that he has been reiterating ever since he took over that test captaincy, and we hope it works out like that. Saurav Ganguly, Nikhil Chopra, thanks a lot for joining us. Remember, you can catch them again at Sports Today at 7:20 in the evening. We'll have more on India's win in Sri Lanka. Goodbye for now.